Do you see me?
No.
Do you see me? You don't see me.
Nope.
I see me. You're sitting right next to me.
I see that you see you, but I don't see you.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
I do hear you.
Does the internet? Oh, wait. Why don't I pull up Twitch?
See Cable. See, homicide on fire, Kyle. I hear him, but I don't see him.
God, that's kind of
Well,
cool.
it's official. Cable's a ghost.
Or we're all dead. No, that wouldn't make sense.
This is not the others.
That's the movie. Yeah. That's then the Cole Kidman movie, The Others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Congratulations.
We talked
I
about
just
it last
ruined
week.
I know, but I forgot that. Did we mention? Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
no,
we did.
you totally had the name.
How do you not see me?
Whoa!
Okay, I got really freaked out for a second because I forgot that the Twitch video is slightly delayed from the actual restream video.
You're like,
What's
Yep.
happening?
that was awesome. I could see it in your face because I realized it, and you're like, what? Why is his hand not appearing in the camera?
Yes,
No.
yeah, that really happened.
No, there's no Band-Aid because Cable can see himself on his own camera.
Yeah, I can also see Cable seeing himself on his own camera, just not on my screen.
Yeah. It's
So what
weird.
happens if you point your camera point it at me, Cable,
No,
or at whatever?
Cable.
This-
Turn your camera slightly.
Sorry, when's yours to show in a minute? We're doing some Inception shit here. Whoa! So you're right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is Cable on my camera, and there you
And
are.
that is Cable on his own camera.
This is.
And yet I don't show up.
It has to be some sort of disconnect with the primary feed, the host feed.
It must be.
See, because yeah,
But
I don't understand why this isn't working.
well,
How
This
strange.
is fucking weird.
You're sure it's not some sort of?
it is definitely.
You can't turn our video off. Well, that's not it.
Oh wait, where'd that echo just come from? Because I heard you can't.
No,
No,
I just did it
oh.
real fast.
It's not mine.
God.
I don't know what's happening. Cable is streaming from beyond.
That's the thing. He's already in haunt training.
But
Haunt
I
mode.
wanted to show off my shirt.
It's a great shirt
Well-
too. Come over here and show off your shirt, buddy. Yeah, look at these little cuties. I mean, these little scary guys.
I'm gonna
They're cuties.
totally give a shout out on this. This is Jellico.
Mm.
It's spelled just
Mhm.
like Jelly Koe. Jellico. Look them up. See if they still have any of these left. If you were a fan of Creepy Company and their button ups, they're done. I don't know why. Creepy Company is fucking
Right.
done right now. This is a great shirt.
It's a great shirt.
Order it from them.
all
they
the,
have any
all the
left.
Jellico
So,
stuff is great.
One thing first. First off,
hold on. Kevin figured it out. We forgot to pay
No.
the cable bill.
I was about to ask Cable if he would like to yell at Kevin for that joke.
I thought it was.
I'm not going to. Of course you do.
Shut up.
You didn't grow up with these particular jokes.
Mhm.
Kevin,
Indeed,
you're fired.
I did not. No one make any nephew jokes, and we're fine. That's what I grew up with.
To nephew?
Denise,
Yes.
nephew,
This
What?
is
niece,
this is
and
Denise, and this
Oh.
is
I'm Denise.
nephew.
Where's the nephew?
Oh, that's dumb.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Every fucking middle-aged white man since the time I could.
You know what they're doing
Process
now?
information.
They're saying, "Ha ha, AA Ron." That's them now.
That was brief though. That was like
Oh no, I still get it
Yeah.
daily because I wear a name tag at work now,
real. Oh,
and they say, "What's your name?" And I'll say, "It's Aaron." And they go, "Like AA Ron?"
Like no, nothing,
No,
nothing like
nothing like that.
I'm going to
Jordan Peele, I love you, but like I think you're one of the most brilliant writers and directors out there. Look, no offense, but I get to punch you once.
I'm going
Head or
to
gut.
disappear and
Okay.
restart my computer and see if that helps at all.
okay.
You want to do an intro really quick, and then while you're doing it, Denise and I will, because she's going to talk about her like bumba bumba baby when she touches like the thing under her nose.
Sure.
What?
You did it. Hello, and welcome to issue 709 of Geek in the City on Radio. I'm one of your hosts, Aron Duran.
I'm one of your other hosts, Beanarita.
And I am the eldritch horror that was once Cable Hashitani.
Okay.
He'll be right back.
And now he's gone.
No, we were talking about sounds
Mhm.
or something, and you went bumble, bumble, boop, boop.
Oh! Okay, so Cable was working on, he was doing something on his computer, and he wasn't getting some sort of a boop, boop noise.
Yeah.
And it immediately, like, I can't hear that sound without immediately thinking of boop, boop, that's the sound of the police. But then every time I hear that song
Okay.
in my brain, I hear boop, boop, that's the sound of bumping bees, because this is an actual thing.
Yeah, bees bump.
Yeah, bees bump into each other, and like we can't hear it with our stupid, boring human ears.
Right.
But there is a sound that is made
I
when the
know.
bees bump into each other.
We had Leon.
And it's boop, boop, and that's the sound of bumping bees.
And remember, when they shoot their shot, they sound like popcorn popping.
That's right.
Because that's as they die.
Bees are just the gift that keeps on giving.
I still think my absolutely favorite bee fact that Lee gave us is that my entire life was told that the bees go back and they do a dance to show where the good flowers are at. But when she said no, they have a dance off, and the best dancing bee is who everyone goes with.
Well, yeah, if more than one bee is like, you want honey or you want some pollen? Come with me. I'll show you where the pollen is. And another bee is like, no, I know where there's better, more pollen. Obviously, the only solution is dance off.
Like you're taught in school that, they're social animals. They have this one dance and and off they go. But the idea that like they have a Zoolander style dance off.
Hey.
There he is. Hello.
Well, hello.
Well, we only got about 10 minutes left before our guest joins us, Gwen Callahan of the HP Lovecraft Film Festival, which we will be talking about today.
Woo.
We're not talking about whoop whoop and ghost cable. And,
Well, now we're done with that.
Oh.
We've done it.
Well, really quick then. I know you and I, were at Rose City. You were at it much more than I was.
Yes, I am. I've had the last 2 days off, and I'm still exhausted.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah. Well, I was like part, handler and part booth manager, and both of those parts needed to exist full time. And I've never wanted to clone myself more than I did this weekend. There was just too much. There was just too much going on, and especially right at the beginning, there are volunteers, and they're like, "Okay, what do I do? And what do I say? And what do you need?" And I'm like, "Okay,
Right.
Just like, you know what? I just wish there were more of me, so that I could just be there and do the thing and know what needs to be done, and I don't have to explain it to anybody, and I can still have time to do, things like go to the bathroom and eat food,
Like
or sleep."
You would want to make your own version of Beanaplicity.
Yep.
Right.
But as we know, that gets out of hand.
That does get out of hand.
There was that time that
quickly.
Bender did it and almost killed the entire planet. So
I feel like Michael Keaton had a less horrible outcome, but who knows?
I feel as though that the actual takeaway from this, and it comes from doing it more than once, because we have that tendency as humans to go, I already know how to do this. I wish there were more of me, so I didn't have to explain myself. I didn't have to pass this on. You're supposed to. You are supposed to communicate how these things are done and pass them on to other people and let them do it the way they're going to do it rather than the way that you want it done.
absolutely. No. Yes. If I wanted to go back further,
Sure.
the ideal situation would have been to have a full roster of volunteers
Oh, yeah.
and have had the time ahead of Friday afternoon to say, okay, this is what we're doing. This is what you need to know.
Mhm.
This is how and where everything is. And if you need anything, call me, text me. I'll be doing this other thing that is also in my area of responsibility for the next 72 hours.
Mhm.
That also didn't happen. I think moreover, it's like, this is like the first time that I've done a con with this much responsibility under, in my lap. And I just felt underprepared, and that's not really anybody's fault or it doesn't really matter. Like I could have done
Well,
so
it's-
many things differently, and I still would have felt
Well,
underprepared. It's a fucking marathon.
It's
These
also
cons are
not like
always
when you help me
huge-
out at my table. I have a slightly different type of pull and cachet as your employer does.
It's not even about that.
That's part of
Just
it.
a lot of stuff. It was a very full schedule,
That's what I-
and
That's what I mean. When I table, I do not have a full schedule. That's what I mean.
Mhm.
although I guess I
Not
would be
yet.
remiss in not pointing out that the reason that it was like part being employed by Kelly Sue DeConnick and part like booth manager is because of Visible Women. The booth
Mhm.
was specifically the first event ever done for Visible Women, which is the initiative born on Twitter to help women and folks of marginalized genders have their creative work seen, and then for those folks to ideally get hired within the
Right.
industry. That is all getting moved away from Twitter, and that was our first event. And
Yeah.
and
No,
so
it's
yeah,
good.
the first event is the first event. It went
Yeah.
great for that, but there's a lot of like kinks because it's the first event. So.
Where is it moving to?
The
Oh.
website where you can like
Oh.
kind of go as like the landing area currently is called visiblewomen.work. And there's also a visiblewomen.work Instagram, and you should get on
Dot
the
work or dot org?
.work
Dot work.
because that's the
Right.
get them working in the industry, comics, video games, board games, kids literature, all sorts of stuff. And if that is a thing that sounds of interest to you or someone you know, get on the mailing list because we have a lot of new and exciting things that are in the works.
I think I signed up a long time ago too because I needed to.
Hire somebody?
Yeah, and then I never heard back. But that was many years ago.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's not on me. That
No,
was a different assistant, so a different
It's
time.
okay, it worked out because I got Sarah.
Yeah, and Sarah's great.
Yeah.
But we're not here to talk about that today. We are going to talk about the 2023 HP Lovecraft Festival.
Yeah.
Which, and I want to get this out now, because a lot of you have seen us in years past there. You will not see Geek in the City Radio en masse that
Probably
week.
As a
not.
collective.
I think
Like-
there's like a pass for us if one of us can do a day.
No, there are passes for you and there's passes for
Oh.
you.
For if and when we can be there.
Right. That was the stipulation. It's like you have your own schedules. You may not be showing up together, but as long as you have passes, you're totally there.
Right.
And Gwen is more than happy to do that. I declined because
You
I
already
am
know.
not available.
Right.
I am working at most, I think, 15-hour days for October.
Hmm.
Not every day, some days.
Yeah, no, I'm in a similar thing.
But
Maybe I'll go Friday. Can't go Saturday because that's like the first time our Ravenloft game is going to meet in over a month,
Mm-hmm.
the 7th.
Right.
But maybe
Uh,
Friday.
And I might be out of town soon for work. Everything's all
Not the 7th, are you?
so
I hope not.
Oh.
I don't have dates yet.
Okay.
I will. I mean, obviously, I'm going to try to avoid
No, I know. It's fine.
being out of town for stuff that is important if I can.
I'm certainly going to try to find a way to watch some of these. I know that one that piqued my interest already was Suitable Flesh, which is a movie starring and also produced by Barbara Crampton.
Oh, I know
that
that
name.
name.
You know Barbara Crampton because she was in The Reanimator.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a short?
No, it's a feature length. It's directed by Joe Lynch.
Oh, there it is.
Yep.
I missed it between Saint. Okay.
Yep. Suitable Flesh is one of them.
Oh, she's looking crazy and
Yep.
cool there.
There's also a short called Night Gaunts, which is by a local filmmaker named Monstar.
Wait, Suitable Flesh also has Heather Graham?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And this is just stuff that I have picked up in passing. Like, I haven't done a deep dive into all of this yet, and I look forward to doing that with Gwen on air. But
yeah.
just glancing at the schedule, it's like, ooh, I want that. I want that.
This also might be a thing where even if I get to go like on a Friday with my schedule allows, I may just buy the digital at home streaming. I'm assuming they're still doing it, and then just tucking in for when I have 2 days off in a row, hooking my laptop up to the TV and just making popcorn, getting a case of beers, and just Lovecrafting it.
I did that for a bunch of the shorts that we didn't get to see last year.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because we spent a lot more time in the feature film area. Is that Adrienne Barbeau?
Yes, it is.
Son of a bitch.
This is for one called Oddities, directed by Tyler Savage.
Is that a short then?
Yes, I believe I'm in the shorts right now.
I can't find it.
Yeah, that one's 15
there it
minutes.
That is Adrienne Barbeau. Nice. I love that she's kept busy. I have seen her in smaller films off and on again. So
we're definitely catching a lot of established names in this lineup.
I would love to see her and Jamie Lee Curtis do some kind of horror movie together. I don't know what.
I would love, like, can you imagine what kind of film we could get with Jamie Lee Curtis, Adrienne Barbeau, Barbara Crampton, Linnea Quigley?
And what's her name from Nightmare on Elm Street? She's still kind of acting.
Oh yeah,
Nancy.
Yeah, Heather something.
Heather Langenkamp.
Yes,
Langenkamp.
Heather Langenkamp.
Slightly related. One of the reasons why I'm kind of bummed that the new Haunted Mansion didn't do that well, which I expected because it was pandemic and strike. It was kind of doomed. But the bummer is that so apparently Tiffany Haddish and Jamie Lee Curtis got along swimmingly to where like the director was like, you two need to calm down. We have to shoot a fucking movie. So the limited press they got to do, someone asked them like, you seem to hit it off. What do you want to work together again? And they both looked at each other and said, oh, we know exactly what we want to do. We want to do a modern version of The Odd Couple. But where Jamie Lee Curtis plays the slob and Tiffany Haddish is like the uptight. They were already acting it out for cast members, just doing it. And I was like, I would watch the shit out of that movie.
Yeah.
Just do The Odd Couple again, but it's them. Oh my gosh. That'd be so much fun.
I love Jamie Lee Curtis. I could expound more, but I just love Jamie Lee Curtis. She's fantastic. That's sorry, going back to HP Lovecraft. Sorry about that. That is a movie that is going to be played that I think you do know. There is a movie that's in here, Glorious.
Do I know Glorious?
It had a Shudder premiere.
I do know Glorious.
It is a 2-person movie.
Yeah.
That takes place in a public restroom.
I do know Shudder.
You know what's funny is I'm looking at the thumbnail, the still for this movie, and it's got that bisexual lighting, just like that movie that we liked so much last year. And now I'm absolutely.
I was thinking the color out of space.
And it was a really popular color scheme last year. But what's the one about the with the Peep Show?
Yeah,
and
I know which one
evangelical who's Revolver. God damn it! Help me out here, listeners. But it's the one gal who works at the Peep Show video store,
right?
And there's the other gal, they're about the same age, and she's super churchy and is protesting outside of that video store when the apocalypse hits,
right?
And then
I remember it, but yeah,
oh my god, I'm like, there's not an easy way to Google that right now.
I'm glad there's another animated. I wish there were more animated shorts, but animation
takes a long time. That's what I mean.
It's very
that was one of the other ones I was mentioning. Is it's a stop motion one. Where did it go?
It's still up there?
No, it's for this year. It's called
movie's called this. That's still up there. Sorry.
No, I'm talking about Night Gaunts. The director is Monstark, who is an artist that Merrick and I worked with at for Sequential Art Gallery. He was in the last Inktober show that we did.
Oh, okay.
And he's
Also,
love him. He's fantastic.
I feel like Night Gaunts, because that's an actual like Lovecraft thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a name. I feel like that would lend itself very well to stop motion.
Yeah, probably would. No,
I will say, like the quality does keep getting better and better and better, which is cool.
Oh yeah, it does.
Like the tools for decent looking filmmaking has gotten so much more accessible, even just in the last couple years.
Well, and even like visual effects are, I don't want to say they're becoming cheaper because the makeup required is still expensive, but the craft has become more accessible. So you can get more people that can do it, which is pretty cool.
Revealer is the name of that movie.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Thanks.
Yep, that's it.
I had really enjoyed that one.
That was the one that was written by Tim Seeley.
That's why I was excited.
Yeah. Tim Seeley is the creator of Hack Slash.
Mm-hmm. And the other comic that I love, now I feel bad I can't remember. It's The Town Where No One Stays Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember either.
But I love it. That's the bad thing. Hack Slash is also great too.
Oh yeah.
Hack Slash was the first horror comic that I remember that like took the tropes of the hot, sexy horror movie girl, but then kind of fucked around with it.
It plays against the tropes while playing with the tropes.
Yeah, because if you just judge it on its cover, it just looks like kind of an exploitive male gazy comic. And then you're reading like, oh no, it's not. It's written by someone who knows every single trope and is turning into it while also like circumventing it.
Yep.
Yeah.
When I think when the first Hack Slash Omnibus came out, he did a signing at TIFA.
He did.
Because I remember he paid Merrick and I the best compliment that we could have had, because we brought up and like, hi, we'd like the sign. It's like, great, what are your names? It's like Cable and Merrick. And he just stopped and looked at us and went, what? It's like, I'm Cable and this is Merrick. Those are the most Blade Runner names I have ever heard in my life, and went to signing. And like, I could feel the grin on Merrick's face at that point. It's like, yep, you just said the magic fucking words.
Right. Yeah. Someday I might want to film some of the Lovecraft shorts I've written. I've written like 5.
I still am 100% into trying to do a Lovecraft film. Mm-hmm. I know at the beginning of this year, I'm like, yeah, it's gung ho, let's do it.
We talked hard about it.
And I feel like about the end of February, I went, no, this is not going to, we're still going to talk about it. This is not happening this year, because this year is going to fall fucking apart real fast. And I don't know why.
Boy, howdy did it.
Yeah, it did. Like, it went all kinds of sideways.
Yeah. Maybe next year.
Maybe next year.
I wonder, Bean, I don't know how you would do it, but I wonder if you could write some kind of Lovecraftian short, but design it so that it can be filmed guerrilla style at Dark Arts.
Ooh.
Because you're going to have the imagery. You're going to have Astoria in February.
You would want to have a really well fleshed out concept, and you're going to either like loaded for bear with different props so that you have anything you might end up thinking you need.
Yeah, but instead of like a proper dialogue script, write like beats. So it's quasi ad-libbed improv.
Mm-hmm. Also,
you would need to be doing scouting locations now. You would need to spend a week in Astoria.
Oh no!
You'd have to really, really have your concept down.
Yeah,
that first for sure.
And yet also be like really, really flexible about what you're gonna get.
But now that idea is in my head.
Yes, it is.
I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm going to at least have to do the thought experiment through.
Okay.
I mean, a bunch of us are all going to be there, so you'll have crew and cast.
And where we're staying is kind of a weird place on its own.
And we've got a solid place to stay. like in all previous years, we've always had like multiple locations that we're staying at,
Just
and
think
that
you
sort of
can-
adds to the logistics of a plan like that. But we're
all
all
that
staying
dark
in
beer
one
where
building.
like all that dark beer where like cultists could hide shit and everyone's drinking of it. Okay. All right. I'm just gonna let that percolate in my head.
Get real crazy and talk to the Fort George people and see about maybe doing a little bit of shooting before the event actually starts.
That's what I mean. I feel like the Fort George crew would be down for that as long as we didn't disturb people.
They would absolutely be down for like
Plus-
a horror thing.
Yeah, and plus, like even during dark arts, there's a whole chunk of the upper floor of the ruins that don't get really used.
Mhm,
You just gotta be prepared for ambience. All right, we gotta quit.
Maybe the plot is something to do with the fact that it's at a big old festival and there's like, just tons of people partying. A lot of bad things can happen in the middle of a party, and it's too things are too, bump to for everyone to even realize.
Or it's also one of those things where, like, because every year Dark Arts picks a theme.
Mm-hmm.
What if the idea is, and we just have to bounce whatever their theme they have, is that like
Mm-hmm.
this time, like whoever puts on Dark Arts was inspired by like, oh man, yeah, we were exploring another building we bought and digging through the basements, and we found this cool book that was kind of weird and inspired me to be the theme of the festival. But then, all right, that's we'll talk about this later. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I would, at the very least, I would enjoy the thought process of how it would go down.
Mm-hmm.
Even that would be kind of a fun expression. All right, just locking that one in.
There you go.
Yeah.
I found another one that appears to be animated. This one's called Menor.
I saw the.
That's like a feature length, isn't it? 111 minutes?
111 minutes?
Mhm.
I think
And it's Greek,
It's
with
Greek,
English
filmed in Greece.
subtitles. Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's wholly animated.
Yeah, I think that's just that monster.
Yeah, I wasn't super sure. It looks really cool though.
But I love the concept. I love this.
Mm-hmm.
Wayward Greek father, a waitress, bodybuilder, their granny, criminals, and an undead priest must band together to fight against that. All right, I'm in. You give me a motley crew fighting otherworldly monsters, and I'm a lock.
Yeah. It looks like it's almost like Alien Invasion style, hunker down and fight them off type
Mhm.
story.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Reading more about Suitable Flesh, now I'm really interested.
Yeah.
And
Well, hopefully Gwen will be here soon, and she can really go, because she usually has ones that she's looking forward to, because they've seen
them
all
all at
these.
this point. Yeah,
Some of them multiple times.
She can give us the highlights for what we should definitely
I also know-
squeeze in if we are short on time.
Pretty sure I would also know I would like whatever the whisper and the static. A young woman hears a mysterious noise come on the radio and pursues it with dangerous consequences. So as someone who grew up listening to like overnight paranormal talk radio and was obsessed with like what you could pick up in between the stations at like 3 a.m., like in between the static, you'd pick up like someone talking, or like there's that YouTube channel of that guy that's broadcasting numbers over and over again. It's been continuous for like a decade now. He's just broadcasting these numbers, and it's fucking weird. And it's like a live thing. It's not a loop, because people have listened to it for days and they're like, it's not looping. It's just this thing broadcasting numbers. Yeah, I can't fall down that rabbit hole again.
Again, he says.
Again, yeah. And they're always like short waves, and they're just weird. So I love any of that stuff that has to do with like radio.
Here's one that looks fun. HP Loves Cats. A writer is haunted by his feline muse, set to excerpts from H.P. Lovecraft's writing. So it's not inspired by any one Lovecraft story, but just like snippets of different things. And just based on the still and the description, that one sounds like one that's going to be good fun.
Yeah.
Good fun.
I was talking to a couple customers today. It's a group of friends who, like, apparently there's a guy who lives here now and has friends visiting from Jersey. and they spent 5 hours playing Arkham Horror, the board game.
Ooh. I've never played that.
They've never sat down to play it before, and they
I
just sat
haven't
down.
either. I've always wanted to play it.
I have a copy of Eldritch Horror, still in the same family. We should sit down and play.
But Eldritch Core is like the in-between, right? It's not the card game, but it's not the board game. It's like
Eldritch Horror?
Yeah.
No, that's Elder Sign. Elder Sign is so there's Arkham Horror, Eldritch Horror, and Elder Sign and Mansions of Madness. They're all
Right.
all Fantasy Flight. They're all in the same realm. Elder Sign is the shortest of the games at about 2 hours, an average play.
Mm-hmm.
Arkham Horror and Eldritch Horror Mansions of Madness are all about 3 to 5 hours.
Wait. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did. I
Yes.
thought maybe you accidentally unmuted.
No.
Nope. Mine may have done it on its own. I don't know. I'm still getting to know this laptop. So
All I know is we were talking about those number stations, which Ryan just pointed out for a long time. A lot of them were broadcasting encrypted messages for spies.
Hmm.
See?
So there's spies on Cable's new computer, is what you're saying.
there are spies on everyone's computers. It's called the NSA.
Hello.
It's just called the internet.
Yep. Anywho,
Sorry. Yes. I would like to play.
we can do that. But yeah, the group that I had in here, they played that. They lost, but they had a blast. And I talked to them like, look, are any of you local? And that's when I found out where they were from. I said, okay, you guys have to plan to come next year. You can go next weekend. Next weekend is the HP Lovecraft Film Fest. This is what it is. This where and he's like, oh fuck yeah, I want to do that. It's like 3 days of nothing but horror movie. I'm like, yep, that's all it is. It's fantastic. It's this. Gwen and Brian are exquisite curators of what to put in the short blocks. It's everything that you want it to be. So
Yes, for sure. Well, do you want to take a quick break and see when we come back? We can come back with
oh no, oh wait,
no. We'll just roll into it.
all right.
Gosh.
But hold on. Consider this a break. We'll use Cable's weird slurpy sound as my break. Well, joining us now is Gwen Callahan. Hello.
Hi.
Oh, I need to turn you up. How about now?
Hello. How are you?
Hey,
Yes.
Much
Better.
better now.
we're great. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. I'm so sorry I'm late. I've been struggling with book formatting and InDesign kept crashing, and then I lost track of time. So.
That's all right. We are all kind of like that right now, so it's all good.
We understand that the fest is next week, and this
It
is
is.
crunch time.
It is.
I will take 2 seconds to say Merrick says hello.
Hi, Merrick.
So
And they were like,
we were talking. We've basically just been spending the opening going through the website and talking about films. It's like, ooh, I'd like to see this. Ooh, I've heard this is good. Ooh, we should go.
when
I
we
wanna
weren't
see
dealing
that.
with Ghost Cable.
Yes. So please, by all means. We should do an introduction.
Which I mean, we've had her on for
Yeah.
like 4 years in a row now, but that's
Well,
yeah.
let's do this. Gwen, for anyone who's listening who is maybe newer to the show or not local to Portland, you want to give us a brief rundown of the HP Lovecraft Film Festival?
Yeah, of course. So the HP Lovecraft Film Festival is a focused film festival, first of all, focused mainly on short films because it is a very specific genre of horror, like a subgenre of horror that deals only with like cosmic horror, the weird tale, and sometimes the uncanny supernatural. And when we talk about the uncanny and supernatural, Lovecraft has an essay called The Supernatural in Literature, which we kind of follow. And his role models for that were kind of M.R. James and Ambrose Bierce, Clark Ashton Smith. So not just a supernatural element like ghosts and spirits and demons and things, but there has to be an uncanny element to it. So an example of that would be a room that appears and disappears in your hallway. Like there's the door, you see it, but from the outside, you do not see how there's a room where that door would be. But
Mm-hmm.
when you're inside, you can see the door and you can go in it. You can hear people moving around in there. So it's kind of like a pocket universe of a uncanny space. And so it's much easier to do these things on small budgets with short films. So traditionally, like the festival was founded in 1995 by Andrew Migliori right here in Portland, Oregon. And the first 2 years were at the Fifth Avenue Cinemas. So it was very small. And then he moved over to the Clinton Street and then over to the Hollywood Theater, where it's been running since I think 2000. I just had a chat with Andrew last night and was like, when did we move to the Hollywood Theater? And he's like, I think it was 2000. So it's like, this will be the 23rd year of us being there.
That makes sense because I moved here in 98 and I saw a flyer for it for 98, 99, and it mentioned Clinton Street. And the first year I went was its first year at the Hollywood. So,
okay.
That
All
makes
right.
sense.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Confirmed. Like corroborated. So the film festivals, we four-wall the Hollywood theaters. We take over all 3 screens, and there's different programming on each screen. We have this year 6 blocks of short films. Each block is roughly 90 minutes. Some are a little bit shorter, some are a little bit longer. We have visiting filmmakers that come in, and we have them do Q&As after their shorts play. So if you're interested in the filmmaking process, or you saw something that just blew your mind and you got to know how they did that special effect, a lot of the filmmakers will be here to talk about that kind of stuff. And we also have a literary component to the film festival because HP Lovecraft was a pulp writer, and we wouldn't be here without the literary backbone kind of this genre. And we have a number of author readings happening. There's some new anthologies coming out from Underland Press and Tenebris Press and Eraserhead Press, and that will be represented in the Mall of Cthulhu. We have panel discussions and a really cool, Jeff School Branson does a cool presentation. Like every other year, he pitches something that's just always really, really interesting. Like the physical effects of fear, like can fear, being afraid, kill you? He did a deep dive on this subject. It was really fascinating. And our guests of honor this year are Clay McLeod Chapman, who has a new book out called What Kind of Mother? And he is an author and a performer. And back in, I think, 2005, somebody made a short film out of his short story, Late Bloomer. And he was a guest at the festival, I think, in 2006, maybe. And he performed it live, and it was just a big hit. I missed it because I was upstairs in the vendor room. So when I asked him if he would be a guest of honor this year, I asked him if he would perform that again, and he said yes. So get to see that on the stage, live and in person, and it's a very funny sort of coming of age story. Late bloomer being, the kids who come into their sexual awakening a little bit later than the rest of the kids, but it's sort of a horrible eldritch spark that sets the whole thing off, and it's very funny.
All right, that sounds like one I'm gonna definitely want to see.
And that'll be Friday night, the opening of the festival. It's a short performance, so but yeah, don't miss it. It'll be in the main auditorium on Friday.
Maybe you and I can make Friday night.
I get out of work at 6. I can make that happen.
Yeah,
You totally should.
So.
Please do this.
Uh,
I implore
Like we mentioned,
you.
our schedules are just, I feel like everyone's schedules
All over the place, yeah.
Everyone's lives kind of feel like had a weird 2023 has been weird.
Well,
It's like every venue and every event is trying to make up for lost time, and so there's like 20 different things any given day, and we're over here. We're like we've always been here.
I had to go for a funeral last time, like on Saturday.
Oh, that's right.
Remember that.
And I was supposed to spend the night, and I ended up driving home like late from fucking Whidbey Island, so that I could like maximize my one day to go to the festival last year. I was like, if I only get Sunday, I'm making the whole day.
Yeah, I remember that now.
And it was choices, but it was worth it because it's always such a great lineup.
There's a lot to choose from, and we do that purposely. So our other guest of honor is Rebecca McKendry, who directed Glorious back, I think it was, oh my God, I'm like, back in 2022. Like that was just last year, right? But it feels like 10 years. It feels like 5 years ago. So she is going to be joining us. We are doing a special screening of that on Sunday afternoon with Rebecca, and she'll be there for a Q&A afterwards. We're going to do a filmmaking panel with her. There's just lots and lots of cool stuff. She's going to do a keynote on Saturday night. She's been a professor for many, many, many years of film, and so she is going to do a keynote speech that I expect will be very entertaining and educational.
Yeah.
And that'll be on Saturday evening after the dinner break in the main theater. And I just can't wait to meet her. I'm such a fan of her podcast, of her films, of her short films, of her essays. Very, very excited.
The only bit of her work that I know is Glorious, and that would be enough to get me into the room to want to see her.
I do remember now the Hellraiser comics I quite enjoyed also.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So I want to know more about her podcast. Is it specifically about horror?
Yeah, it's called All the Colors of the Dark podcast.
Oh, that's a good
And
title.
She's
Oh, it's one of the
constantly
Fangorious
talking
ones?
about how much she loves Lovecraft, and I was like, we should ask her to be a guest. So I messaged her, I found her, I just messaged her and was like, hey, we want you to be a guest. And she was like, I get so many requests, but I love Lovecraft so much. So yes, I'll come.
Excellent. Oh yeah, it's the podcast is through Fangoria.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Excellent. I'll have to check that out too.
It's funny, at my day job, we just got someone who called last week. So their main thing is they like to do like dark horror tourism, but they bring like their stuffed cat everywhere. So it's like Spooky Cat or whatever. Anyway, she's all excited because she's booked her rooms to come to Lovecraft. And like at my day job, she's like, where are spooky places to go in this town? And so I feel like, I don't know where I was going with that, but it had something to do with the Hollywood Theater. It's gone now. It's been a day.
I mean, the
you should tell
Hollywood
her to-
Theater counts as a spooky location.
That's
in
true,
and of
yeah.
It's
itself.
haunted. Or at least they've done like paranormal investigation type things before the pandemic. I think they did now I can't remember which movie they showed, but they had like a team of people with like EMF readers and like I don't know if they had a spirit box, but they basically let them stay overnight in the theater lobbies and like
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
That
Readings.
could be us, but
I
we're
know.
playing.
I know. It should be us.
But you should tell your friend there's just across the river in Vancouver is the Devilish Things Museum, and I think you have to just reach out and message her.
I have wanted to go there for a while now. We've
This
looked at
is
it
the
before.
first I'm hearing about it.
It's not, but you have a goldfish memory.
I believe you.
And then there's of course Coffin Club on MLK, or formerly the Lovecraft Bar, and I don't know. There's all kinds of stuff happening.
There is a show coming to Coffin Club that I'm going to maybe get tickets for. I'm not sure yet. Depends how schedules and money works out.
Oh, that's really close to here.
So
Coffin Club?
Yeah.
that's
just up this
where
road.
Glass Spells is playing. See?
So,
Anyway,
I
sorry,
wanna see
we're derailing our.
no, back to films.
Back to the film festival.
No, you can't really pick favorites, but again, like
difficult.
if we all cannot attend all parts of the film this year, so we are relying on you to give us a couple highlights of like, look, if you can only make it to a few, these are the ones you want to try to
Yeah.
catch.
What are you looking forward
So
to?
we always tell people like there is 3 screens of stuff to choose from, and we also have author readings from 1 to 5 p.m. on Saturday upstairs at Sam's Hollywood Billiards. They're letting us kind of invade that room for a few hours, and
Oh,
then on Sunday from 10 to 4:45 p.m. we are in the big meeting room at the Hollywood Library, which is just three blocks down the street from the
Yeah.
theater. And we are going to have more author readings and some panel discussions in there, as well as Carbload for Cthulhu. So we're bringing in. This is Sunday. Yes, I said the right day. I keep getting confused between the days. So Sunday is Carbload for Cthulhu from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. There will be a plethora of donuts and coffee and things, and so people can enjoy those and watch a presentation and a panel and an author reading. We are You guys, breaking news, we are about to release tickets for the Cthulhu Prayer Breakfast, which can only accommodate about 35 people. It sells out every year. So if you're listening to this, be on the lookout for those tomorrow morning on the Arkham Bazaar website. We're about to send a newsletter and a Kickstarter update to our backers so that people can hop on those. But that's always a fun time. It's a full breakfast and entertainment from Mr. Cody Goodfellow, who is our sort of de facto spiritual leader, who will sermonize during the breakfast. And then we also have guests, and we encourage attendees as well to share spooky stories about weird shit that has happened to them in their lives. Sort of like true stories of
Damn it.
weird shit.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
So that one's fun.
Tell the story about getting possessed at the Rose and Raindrop.
Oh yeah.
Who got possessed?
Me.
You did.
Yeah, by a Babylonian abortion demon.
Oh my god.
It's a whole story. I'll tell you one day.
I need to
Maybe
hear
I'll tell it then.
soon. So in the answer to the question about like if there's only a couple things that I can see, what should I pick? So generally speaking, any of the feature films that we have that you've seen any rumblings about, like in Dread Central or Bloody Disgusting or Rue Morgue or Fangoria, are probably going to show up either in the theater or in streaming at some point down the road. So if you have to choose, if you're looking at three things and there's a panel or a live performance, some short films, or a feature film that you think maybe will be going to greater, like wider distribution. Personally, I would pick either the short films or the live performance, because live performance is live performance, and it's not, you can watch a recording and it's just not the same as being in that room with that energy. And we have Robert Lloyd Perry coming from the UK, and he's going to be performing live with Chris Bozzone, who is a musician. Now they performed together at the Nightlands convention this summer in New Jersey, and Robert's going to be performing Algernon Blackwood's The Willows. So it's like a dramatic reading performance of it, as well as The Nameless City. And then we also have Andrew Lehman from the HP Lovecraft Historical Society coming. And he's going to be reading, doing a dramatic reading of Beyond the Wall of Sleep and The Cats of Ulthar.
Oh, cool.
So those are, those are things that get overlooked sometimes because people are so obsessed with like, I have to see all the short films. And it's so tense. And we heard from a couple of attendees that have been coming for a long time. A few years ago, they couldn't get into the shorts block they wanted to see, and they had already seen the feature. And they asked us, like, what should we go see? And we're like, Robert Lloyd Perry is about to begin a performance right now. You should go see that. And they're like, okay. And so they went. And later we heard from them, thank you so much for suggesting that, because that was, I think, the best thing I saw at the festival. So, I mean, he's good. These people are no slouches. It's not like a high school performance.
Yeah.
Seasoned professionals, and you will be scared. So yeah, we also one thing, we have a world premiere happening on Saturday afternoon. This is a film I think that's been they were kind of waiting to do their world premiere because they wanted the right mood or atmosphere or the right festival, and I guess that's us. Yay for us. It's called The Veil. It's written and directed by Cameron Bale, and it's starring Rebecca
Kennedy.
I'm like, Henderson? I'm like, there's two Rebeccas with the same spelling of their names this time.
I had this one bookmarked because
Rebecca Kennedy and Sean O'Brien. Now, the name Sean O'Brien might not mean a lot to you guys, but if you look him up on IMDb and you see his face, you are going to be like, oh yeah, this guy has been in like every awesome thing that I've ever seen. He's a very good actor. So it's kind of the two of them. The setting is, it's night. This guy lives in a house kind of in a secluded area in the woods. There's a weird aurora in the sky that's making everything green. And this woman comes and knocks on his door looking for help. and then it just gets real weird from there. And yeah, it's a nice short ass movie. The producer and director are coming along with the lead actor. Sean O'Brien's going to be there. So I think that people really don't want to miss that. We tend to see like, oh, there's having a world premiere somewhere far away, like in Spain or Sitges or like Frightmare US, Fright Fest UK, or TIFF in Toronto. And here's a world premiere that's happening like right in your backyard. So you should come to it.
The synopsis for this one looks really interesting too. So that one was already on my radar. Thank you.
Yeah, the banner art for it was caught my eye immediately and went, okay, I think I want to read what this one's about. And, ooh, it looks really good.
For the other feature films, we had a surprising number of feature films that had a reasonable sound and picture and like a reasonably written script, and B, actually fit the cosmic horror Lovecraft genre of films, because often we'll get them and there'll be one or the other, not both at the same time. So we have
missions that don't quite fit the theme.
We get it's getting better, like the ratio of like things that are just they didn't understand at all what our festival is about or didn't read our description at all, to the things that like get it, is getting better. So we have fewer films that we have some judges that kind of go through the submissions right away, and they'll just like be like, this one's not a fit. Like, this one's a romantic comedy with like no Lovecraftian or cosmic horror elements.
Not that you couldn't do a cosmic horror romantic comedy.
You can't. You totally
Oh
can.
yeah.
That would be hard to pull off, though. I
but
think.
it's a fine line. And
Not impossible.
No, not at all. I mean, you can make a movie about anything, but that doesn't mean it's going to be good or meet the criteria.
Tom Hanks stars in Sleepless in Riley.
I would watch that.
Actually, watch Tom Hanks slowly go insane.
I'd watch that.
Yeah,
I'd absolutely watch that.
Like, I feel like I've seen that movie already.
I think that was Castaway.
Yeah. But make it scarier.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, so
Wilson talks back.
Wilson talks back. So Suitable Flesh. We're playing it twice. Friday night and Sunday night, both late shows, because it's that kind of movie. It is dirty. It is bloody. It is funny. It is scary. Barbara Crampton and Heather Graham are just amazing in it. They're just such good actors, and the script is really great. Joe Lynch did a fantastic job with it's got kind of a noir feeling to it, but it's also very modern. And it's just the performances all around are outstanding. Judah Lewis as the okay, so in The Thing on the Doorstep, it was based on The Thing on the Doorstep, which is a Lovecraft short story.
Oh.
And this script for the film gender flips the two main characters, who are Edward Derby is now Elizabeth Derby, and Daniel Upton is now Daniela Upton. And they're doctors, and Elizabeth Derby's patient comes in exhibiting signs of like paranoid schizophrenia. But come to find out there's more to the story. So if you're not familiar with the story, I don't want to spoil much for you, but if you're familiar with the story, you can already kind of tell what's going on. But there's some body swapping, and I think that's in the new trailer. And there's it's very horny, and it's very throwback to the 80s in that regard. Stylistically speaking, but also with a very modern sensibility. And we were just kind of watching the trailer again, and we're just like, fuck, this is such a good movie. I cannot wait for people to see this on the big screen. So,
and I found this is one of the ones that I'm going to seek out after the fest is over, because I don't want to watch it. But it's not only is Barbara Crampton in it, she's one of the producers of the movie. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
it's cool. Yeah.
All right.
And most horror fans already know who Barbara Crampton is.
Yes.
But if you don't, she was made famous by The Reanimator and From Beyond, both of which she starred with Jeffrey Combs, who was a guest last year's fest.
Oh yeah,
That was last year,
That was
right?
last year,
that was-
yeah.
Yeah.
She was also,
I
she was
just
also
checked my
she was on like 3 or 4 soap operas.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's, what Leanna Lovegood on is it The Bold and the Beautiful?
That sounds about right.
Excellent. I'm trying to think of other things. There's just so much stuff. And like really, if you just sat your ass in one of the theaters, just picked one and sat there all weekend, you would have a great show. And any one of them, it doesn't matter.
We've all done that. We can all confirm that is truth. Like,
Very much so.
I think the hardest decision in the past for us anyways, we're like, okay, do we all want to go see the same stuff or should we divide and conquer? Because we know it's all going to be good. And that way, if we split up, everyone has seen some of everything. And then we can all come back and talk about it and compare notes.
yep.
One of the things that I'm always excited for, being a good little consumer, is the Mall of Cthulhu and the annual shirts. I love the shirts every year. Are you able to share any of that with us?
I can tell you what vendors are going to be there. We don't the shirt design. We just got the poster art. So our poster artist, we gave him a tall order this year. We have 3 events. We just did one in Providence in August. We're doing this one in October in Portland. And then in November 3rd to the 5th, we are doing a new event in Mobile, Alabama.
I saw that link on your page.
Yeah. So because
Amazing.
we're nuts. We're just
Yeah.
I don't think I
I don't know
realized
what's
that
wrong with
you
us.
also did the Providence one.
So the
And now
the Providence one, there's 2 events that happen alternating years in Providence. So in 2024, it'll be Necronomicon Providence, which we don't organize that one, but we help with their film programming. And then in 2025, it'll be the HP Lovecraft Film Festival again. So this August, it was the HP Lovecraft Film Festival. So it's kind of a more chill event. It's not as big. We still show like the early picks of the film selections. There's only 1 screen, so we don't show as much stuff, but it's still Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we get some author readings in there, and we try to give people time to enjoy Providence, especially if they've never been there before, because that is where Lovecraft was born and raised and lived and died. And like people make pilgrimages there to like see all the sites.
Does Providence do like a? There's got to be like tours that are like walk in Lovecraft's footsteps, or
Sometimes they're usually in conjunction with our events. So Lovecraft scholar Donovan Locks we've become friends with him over the years after going out to Providence every year, and got him to do a special edition of his Lovecraft sites walking tour.
oh, cool.
So
Nice.
it's like a 3-hour tour, and you go to all the different sites where he lived and important sites that are like in his books. So there's this house was the Charles Dexter Ward house and things like that. So you get to see all the sites.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So the other feature films that I think we have 8 feature films this year. So we've got
It feels like there's a lot this
yeah,
year.
we've got Anthony Cousins, who was our winner for best short, I think in 2016, with a very disturbing short film called When Susurrus Stirs.
Yeah, we remember him last year from the film Every Time We Kiss, Your Fucking Face Explodes. That
Every
was at
time
the
we
Portland-
meet for ice cream, your whole fucking face explodes.
Oh, yeah.
So his first, I think it's his first feature film. It's based on the Loveland Frogman urban legend.
Oh,
from
that's why the
Loveland,
title
Ohio.
of that sounded familiar.
Oh.
Fuck.
So Frogman, and I'm like, oh, and we started watching. I was like, oh, it's a found footage movie. That's not my favorite. It's not my jam. generally speaking, I find them to be usually like too jerky, or you can't see what's going on, and like you can tell that they didn't have any budget for anything because they just like flash by it, and you're like, come on. Like, I'm getting sick here. But this one we started watching, we're like, oh, holy shit, he just showed it. Like just right there in the first 10 minutes of the film. We get to see it. And then it's the story of like the kid who runs into it, then trying to find it again as an adult. And it's just, the performances are great, the characters are charming, and then you get to see quite a lot of some really messed up, like cryptid stuff.
I had to click on that because the thumbnail is a little disturbing to me.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be. I follow him on Instagram, and I've been seeing him post about how it's been received in small screenings, and people are just going, "Oh, this is fucking great!" So,
All right.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, to be clear, I didn't not want to see it. I definitely
Sure.
want to see it. I just hadn't clicked on that thumbnail yet. I'm like,
No, I get the thumbnail thing. That's it. It's like, ew.
Ew, yeah, it's gross. It's that whole like body horror thing mixed with urban legend cryptid hunters. So that one's a great one to see. There's also the West Coast premiere of Saint Drogo, which is do you guys remember Death Drop Gorgeous that came out a few years ago?
Yes.
I think it was during the pandemic. So this is Michael Ahern's second film, or his follow-up film from that, and it's I must say his learning curve has, like, he has gotten over that hump. Like, this is a really accomplished film. It is definitely queer horror, which I'm excited about, and it is definitely cosmic horror, and there's a little bit of folk horror thrown in there with a little Shadow of Innsmouth flavoring to boot. So that's if you like all those things, if you like that combination of elements, this one is for you.
One of those thumbnails too, where I'm like, oh, a hooded robed figure going through grassy fields holding what looks like a big stick or a bone. I'm like, well, I'm at least gonna check it out.
And then what else? Gods of the Deep. So last year we had a World Premiere of Freeze from UK filmmaker Charlie Steeds. And this is his second Lovecraftian film, this time deep underwater. This one takes place deep underwater, and it is kind of bonkers and funny. This is definitely one of the kinds of films that you want to see with a crowd of people that are all on the same page.
I remember that.
It amplifies the fun.
Yeah, Steeds. That was the shipwreck in the ice. Yeah, that was. It did surprise me that it was as well done as it was. Like, I was expecting it to be. The costumes were kind of off, and the sets were kind of off, but it was the acting was well done. The sets were good. The costumes were good. The creatures were great. And terrifying.
I think I remember you talking about it because that must have been on Saturday and I missed it. And I remember thinking that one looks like it's going to be really good.
And like 2 or 3 of the cast were there, and they were kids.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, meeting them in person, it's like, oh, good Lord, you're like 17. They weren't. They were in their 20s, but everyone looks like.
I think he's actually 30.
Like,
but,
yeah.
right.
See, there you go. If you're under 40, you look like you're 12. I don't make the rules.
Yeah. Like, my whole thing is like, oh, you're young enough to be my son, my child. I could be your mother. That's where it gets interesting for me sometimes. But
that's every single one of my coworkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, wait, how am I 50 already? Like, what happened?
Yeah, it sneaks up on you. And suddenly it's like, wait, what?
I know. It's like, someday when I grow up, well, if it happens, it's not happening.
It's not happening. It's not going to happen. Mm-mm.
Well, it's good because I still haven't figured out what I wanted to do when that happened. So
Yeah,
You
no.
got plenty of time.
I can guarantee 50 is not a magic number where you suddenly grow up.
I mean, if it didn't happen when I was 30, and I really don't think it's happening next year either. I don't think it's going to happen at 50 either.
Mm-mm.
We're just here. We're
Yeah.
just
We're
fucking
just
here.
here. The only difference is that people look and see how old you are, and then they just think that you have it figured out. And then you just
Yes.
make them think that.
It's like, oh, that makes sense because they've done all this. It's like, no, we've been winging it. It's fine. I will say that some horror movies hit different now after 50. Like I watched Bubba Hotep last night, and all of the scenes in the restroom hit differently now
Oh man, I guess.
than it did 20 years ago when it came out.
Oh my god.
It is 20.
Bubba
I just ran
Hotep.
the quick math about when I first saw it. So,
Bubba
yeah.
Hotep is old enough to drink. It came out in 2002. And Bruce Campbell was only 44 at the time.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Playing an Elvis that would have been 67 at the time.
least, right? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Presley was born in 1935.
Right.
He would have been 67 in 2002. I did all of this math yesterday when I'm just sitting there going, why is this? Ugh. Nope. This is uncomfortable now. So yes, you have that to look forward to, Gwen. Welcome to the party.
Nice.
Oh, I've already got, the hot flashes and the mood swings. So there's that. Got that going for me.
Now I'm just hearing Bruce
That's
Campbell.
a private party.
The part where he's in the bed and he's like, I made 35 films, all of them trash. Except for Clam Bake.
Yep.
Is it a horror?
Yeah, have
Bubba
you never
Hotep?
seen
I've
Bubba
never
Hotep?
seen it. No,
You would like it.
I'm loaning it to you.
Don
All
Coscarelli.
right,
Yeah.
one-
I could probably just rent it for free. But
It's one of the few Joe Coscarelli movies that is not a
A
Phantasm
fantastic movie. Based on a story by John
Lansdale. Yep.
Yeah.
But that's not at the HP
no,
Lovecraft.
not.
no.
But it just made
No.
me realize how few and far between sort of notable and I don't think Boba Hotep is necessarily mainstream, but among certain nerd
Yeah.
fandoms, like people know it. But like
Yeah.
the fact that I still think of Boba Hotep as that like recently released, like in the not so distant past films that are kind of cosmic horror. Lovecraft flavor because Don Coscarelli is a Lovecraft fan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
don't say.
There's just so few of them, and that there needs to be more. So I'm excited that we have so many feature films this year that are, Lovecraftian and like firmly in Lovecraft cosmic horror territory. We didn't have to kind of like push the boundaries at all for any of these. They just are here and they're great and we love them and we want to like nurture them and then send them off in the world for everyone to see.
I also like that you're still keeping up the tradition of having one or two Edgar Allan Poe inspired shorts.
Mhm.
Since like that was like Lovecraft's favorite author. So it's still cool that happens.
Yeah. And like
I just saw the one inspired by the Telltale Heart, but on a space station. And I'm like,
Ooh,
called Hideous
Yep.
Heart.
creepy.
that one is cool. And then the other one is kind of a police station interrogation room, but retelling, so you get the flashbacks. But we actually got four submissions of the Telltale Heart this year.
Wow.
it's a really popular one.
I
I've
didn't know we had
noticed
our
over the years. But I love that you can have more than one retelling of even just that one Poe story, but they're different. They're
Mhm.
totally different.
Different flavor, different atmosphere. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so I'm interested in seeing both of those for sure.
It was good.
And then there was one I saw called The Pit that I think it was that gave me some sort of Edgar Allan Poe vibes as well.
Kind of. That one was surprising for me, so I'm just gonna let it surprise everybody else because it did not
Oh.
like from the description and the title and everything. I kind of had an image in my head of what it was going to be, and it was not at all.
Ooh, interesting.
That makes me nervous already.
All right,
Yes.
now
It was
I gotta
much
make
more.
sure.
It was much darker. Like spoilers, it was much darker than I was expecting it to be.
How dark were you expecting though? Because I'm like, I'm ready for it to be super dark.
Well, when it starts out, it's kind of 1929, 1930 Dust Bowl era woman coming around with her big wash tub or whatever, like, and you're like, oh, she's just tricking people, and then she meets this woman, and it just gets real unexpectedly dark, and the performances are the thing that really carries the film. Like the lead actress is just amazing. And it's nice and short, and it wraps up really nicely, and it's kind of a gut punch. So we try to kind of balance those out with other things throughout the block. So we try to for people who are like, which shorts block should I see? For the Lovecraft Film Festival, like, they're all cosmic horror themed. So just watch any of them. We try to give you kind of a variety of long and short length, serious and funny, direct adaptation versus original story from the filmmaker.
Nice.
Question. In the past, you have also had a streaming option for folks that are not around that want to catch. Are you doing any streaming of any of this year?
We will be. We need to add a page to the website. We decided, because we had 3 in-person events in a row, basically, that there was no way that we were going to be able to do the Portland Festival and what people have become accustomed to is the streaming show at the same time. There's just not enough hours in the day. There's not enough manpower. There's not enough like brain space between me and Brian to pull that off in a way that's satisfactory to us and to the audience, in my opinion. Because we tried to do it last year where it was gosh, am I remembering this correctly? Where we did it at the same time, and I think we live streamed some stuff. And it was just very hard. Yeah, last year. It was just very difficult to manage that. So this year, instead of trying to cram all this stuff in on top of each other in such a way that guarantees that all of it will be mediocre, we decided that we were going to try to focus fully on the in-person event and make it really awesome. And then in December 2nd and 3rd, we will have a streaming edition of the festival. So it's not a streaming edition of the Portland Festival. It's just a streaming edition of the festival. And I think going forward, it's going to kind of be this way. We're going to do our live events, and then at the beginning of December, right before the dark winter holiday season takes over, we're going to do our streaming event.
Oh, I love this.
I like that.
I love this so much. Yeah, that'll be great. I look forward to being able to enjoy a lot of these films through streaming it. Because I did that last year because I missed some of the short blocks. So I just went, here's money so I can watch those short blocks.
Yeah.
And it was really great.
But yeah, pushing it out into a later part of the year gives people yet another thing to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, if you miss some stuff at the Portland Festival, which I don't think there's physically a way to see everything at the Portland show this year, because we have so many features. Like in other years when we don't have as many features, I think there usually is like a path. We try to construct it so there's like 2 paths so you can see all of the short films, because we know that that's what people like. This year there's a couple paths to see all the short films, several paths to see all the feature films. But if you're trying to see all the films, like, there's not a way to do it. So take the pressure off yourself and realize that just go see what you're going to go see. try to see something live, try to see an author reading, try to see a panel, try to see like one of each kind of thing. And then you can catch up on some of the stuff that you missed in the streaming show later on. And that also
sounds
allows us to have live Q&As with filmmakers that can't necessarily travel. Like we've got a filmmaker in Kenya that I would love for him to be able to talk to our audience. So we're gonna try
And they'll
to
be able
schedule
to
his
live
thing so that it coincides at a time where they can be online with us after
Oh,
their first
cool.
block. And there's a guy in Australia, there's people in Uruguay, there's people in Mexico and Canada and all the Norway, Denmark. There's like 13 or 14 countries I think that we have films from this year.
Well, good. I think that's good advice to not try to see everything, but instead make your own path through the fest so that your experience at the fest is your experience.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Agreed.
Well, I think we.
Oh, and
I
then
think.
for people,
Oh,
is this airing right now? Like, are people?
Yeah, we're
Yes,
live
it
right
is.
now.
Live.
Yeah.
So we have tickets are available through the Hollywood Theater website, which is hollywoodtheaterre.org. And you can actually go in person to the theater when they're open and buy them in person so that you avoid the convenience fee. If you want, if you're going to be there anyway, just go to the box office and be like, hey, I want to buy a ticket for the HP Lovecraft Film Festival. And you will save money because we have early bird pricing on right now through Saturday. If you're a Hollywood Theater member, you get a slight discount on top of that. And then when prices go up on Sunday, it's still not that expensive because I looked at how much tickets were for some of these other festivals. And
Yeah.
you're still getting an excellent deal.
I'll probably get someone who like comments or asks later just at the Hollywood Theater, but not Movie Madness as well, right? Because I know they're connected.
I don't know. They might be able to buy them at Movie Madness. If
So better just
they're
stick
able
with
to buy regular theater tickets at Movie Madness, then they can buy the festival tickets at Movie Madness.
I'm a monster, and I almost never go to Movie Madness. So I've never tried to buy tickets.
Yeah,
there.
let's just have people stick to the Hollywood Theater.
They can probably call if you're wondering. You can probably call them, but
Yeah,
That's true.
I know that they used to do that, and I just don't know if they switched anything with their ticketing system. So
well, and I will say just if you missed some of the shorts from years and years ago, I do know that Movie Madness buys the DVDs of every shorts collection that gets put out every year. So
we donated
wonder
a
if,
few
like,
of them. I think
Yeah.
they've got the 2014 and maybe the 2015.
Okay.
But I have a note on my to-do list to get in touch with Jason at Movie Madness. They've also started carrying small inventory of like kind of hard to find discs. So we're gonna see if they can be a sales partner for the short film collections, so that
Oh, cool.
our
Nice.
local
Oh,
don't have to pay to have it shipped to them.
I have quite a few of those. I love having them.
I was looking at them when I was skimming through the Mall of Cthulhu, and I was like, "Oh, I should be buying those. I should just have them because that's the thing about these film festivals is they're in and of themselves sort of ephemera, not
Yeah.
just the live portions of it, but just the sometimes it can be hard to even remember what the lineup was a couple of years down the road, let alone the title of a couple that you really liked. And maybe you're conversing and you share the story and you're like, oh my God, I wish I could show you what this movie is, but I don't know how to find it anymore. Save yourself the trouble. Have a compilation on hand.
Yeah. We actually just got an email from someone trying to track down a film from like 2010. And I was like, I don't remember that film. Like the name sounded familiar. The filmmaker's name was Miles Finlayson. Finlayson. So if Miles, you're listening to this podcast, please get in touch with us because there's somebody's doing some research. I think he's doing a paper or something on Lovecraft adaptation. So yeah, there's that.
Nice.
But yeah, it's the the disc is really cool because when you buy it, you're supporting the filmmakers because we profit share with them when you buy those discs. And there's always
Good to know.
I think we stopped doing it, but like from 2019 earlier, there's Easter eggs on the disc that every time we send out surveys, we're like, "Did you find the Easter egg?" And people are like, "There's an Easter egg." Just push the up button. Push the up button enough times, you'll get to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is like just a little like memento of the festival, and then you get to have sort of a 90-minute. I say 90-minute, but there's usually more like 130 minutes of stuff on the discs. It's a lot. We try to pack a lot in there, but yeah.
Well, Gwen, thank you for joining us. It's always just lovely to have you on and stuff.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's good to see you guys.
Yeah, for sure. And I know at least one or two of us will make it there at least once of the days.
Yep.
Schedules are wacky this year.
Okay.
Yeah, but we will definitely see you somewhere between October 6th and October 8th.
That's true.
I will be there in spirit, as I will physically be scaring people.
He will be frightening people.
Yay. Well, cool. Oh, I'm sorry. Like I forgot about the vendors in the Mall of Cthulhu. So there will be sculptures, there will be woodcut prints, there will be lots of books, there will be art, and there will be t-shirts and accessories, and we're bringing our hot sauces, and then there will be festival merch, and what am I forgetting? Other stuff. Yeah, we'll be updating the website up until like the festival starts, so just keep checking back.
Great.
Always a good lineup.
Yeah. Yeah, the merch is always great. So always bring a little extra cash on hand.
Yes.
Support your local artists. Yay.
Yes, definitely. Yes, definitely.
All right. Any last words, Gwen?
I think that's it. Just yeah, Cthulhu Fatagan.
Yeah. Super excited for another great year of horror, of Lovecraft horror at the Hollywood. Thank you so much, Gwen.
Thank you.
And say hello to Brian for
I
us as well.
Yes. Thank
All
you.
right. Bye.
Ooh. Bye. Yay. It's always that awkward time.
Yeah, it's like, where's the leave button?
But that's time for us too.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
She said, yawning repeatedly.
I know. Yeah, behind the curtains, my lower back, I did something. It has been killing me for an hour. So if you see me like over here, like
Wiggling.
I'm trying so hard, like just pop, please. Anyway, next week I think it's just Denise and I, because Cable will be training.
Yes. So I'm going to say goodbye to listeners for most of October.
Yeah.
I won't be here next week. I'll be here for the 2 Tuesdays after that. And then you won't see or hear from me again until November.
Yeah, we probably won't do a show on Halloween night. I don't know what we're doing, but it won't be podcasting.
Halloween
Sorry,
on
guys.
Tuesday this year? Oh,
Halloween
yeah.
is a Tuesday.
Yeah,
No, we ain't doing no show. We'll see you guys out on the streets, nerds.
that's right. With that, I'm Maron Duran.
I'm Peterita.
And I am Cable Hashitani.
We will
For
see
now.
you all for now. We will see you all next week. Bye.